It is time now for a grain market wrap with Tim Hogarth, who is an account manager at Agfarm in Victoria and South Australia. How are you going this morning, Tim?
Oh, not too bad, thanks, Cass. How are you doing?
I'm good. Now, looking at harvest, how is it progressing across Western Victoria?
Progressing is probably a key word. We've just got a shower of rain that's come through overnight that will probably halt things until Saturday, I'd expect. It's not a lot of rain, but enough to get the moisture levels up to put harvest off for a while. But prior to this, we're probably around 20 or 30% through the barley crop in the Mallee at the moment. We've got the Wimmera guys who have pretty much just started on barley, and some of the guys down further south and into the central regions that are going on canola at the moment. So it's a bit of a mixed bag across the state, but progress is actually quite slow. This is due primarily to just a very, very, very heavy crop at the moment.
And looking at quality, do we know anything quality-wise across Western Victoria as yet?
Look, we do. We expected probably a couple of months ago that we'd harvest quite a fair amount of malt barley, but quality hasn't been quite as good as we'd expected, and most of the barley crop is actually going feed one. This is due to basically due to the soft finish. So we've had staining on the grains, which has caused them to be downgraded to feed, and also low protein has knocked it out of the malt specification. So a little bit disappointing so far, and that's probably being further compounded by low prices for feed barley as well. So a little bit of tough selling decisions for growers to this point.
Yeah, I can imagine. Now, looking at the southeast, how are things progressing over here? Last week we heard that things were starting to ramp up in the upper southeast.
Yeah, look, similarly to Victoria, it's quite frustrating. We are getting into the crop and the crop is coming off, but progress is quite slow. Most people are still on their barley crops at the moment. Similarly, we've got quite a lot of feed, although I think in the southeast we actually are seeing more malt, a percentage of malt in Victoria. I'd probably put that somewhere around potentially 30% malt, which is actually quite a good result for such a heavy barley crop.
So is barley really the only crop that's being harvested at the moment in the southeast? Pretty
much, yes. So aside from canola, some people are also getting into some things like some lentils and some other crops, but essentially we're yet to get into the wheat crop, and that's where we're seeing a lot of speculation, particularly around how big this crop's going to be.
Now, we've only got a short amount of time left, but looking at price, what crop varieties are performing the best?
Unfortunately, that's not feed barley or malt barley. We're seeing canola doing very well. Canola is also high oil, so we're seeing growers achieve site values, including the oil bonuses of well above $5.50, which is a very good result. Barley's trading somewhere at around $160 at a port level, and we're seeing wheat at about $210 to $220 port for APW at the moment.
Right. Well, thank you very much, Tim, for giving us a grain market wrap this week. Appreciate your time.
Pleasure, Cass.